Good afternoon. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon, and I have intentionally done that because it was actually quite the hot day today, and I've got a bee in my bonnet. Last week, and I'm pretty sure the week before that, we went to a local garden centre and picked up a few plants, and I actually left a plant behind that I'm wishing I had purchased. So this afternoon, before the garden centre closes, I wanted to head to that garden centre, pick up the one I was looking for is the white butterfly bush, the white butterfly bush. I've got the purple one, but I want the white one. So I'd like to stop at that garden centre first, pick that up, and then I would like to head to another garden centre because I need to pick up a few bits and pieces. I need some like rose fertiliser, and I've got a couple of other plants. I want to have a look for something for here. I want to have a look for something on the corner here, on this other corner there. There's just a few little things that I'd like to, something potentially low for here. Yeah, anyway, there's just a few little gaps that I would like to fill if I can. And obviously, just kind of have a little putter about and see what else they have, see if anything else takes my fancy. I've also got to go to the store while I'm out. So I'm hoping to do all of that before everything closes. The other big thing that I need to get, and I'll show it to you, is I am very, very keen to do up the kitchen garden beds, but I noticed, and if I go to, can you see the gap between the two wood slats here? That's a little bit better. And it's just really on this end bit here that the gap is really prominent. I'd like to get something from the garden centre, like maybe, I don't know, almost like a metal sheet, something like that, that I can kind of just like tuck down the side and just kind of seal that gut up, or like tarping or weed matting or something, just to kind of protect it so that I don't lose the dirt out through this sort of hole here. So I definitely want to look for that, and that's one of the other reasons why I've been sort of delayed in doing the kitchen garden bed. So if I can get that, then I think we can start doing the cleanup. The tomatoes are pretty much done now, so they are ready to come out. It's kind of just a bit of a tidy up. I have to say, I do quite like these. I think I said to you I was going to take them out, but I got the bees just, I mean, you can see that bee. I don't know if you can see that bee, but you can see the bees now. The bees love them. And the colour, I love that purple. So we'll see. We'll see what we can do. I'm wondering if I can get some sort of like petitioning, like pretty kind of petitioning, then I can kind of lift them up and push them back a little bit, because obviously they're taking over this whole bed and I'd like to use this bed. Similar over here. So anywho, that is the plan of action, and as I said, it was quite warm today, so I've left heading to the garden centre till this afternoon. As I said, it's about 4:30. One garden centre closes at 5, and then the other ones are open till like 9 o'clock at night, so we've definitely got time there. But without further ado, let's head inside. Let's go get my handbag actually, and we'll get in the car. Mum is going to come along with us, particularly with these cooler evenings. She'll be much, much happier at the garden centre with it being a little bit cooler. It is supposed to get down to 16 degrees tonight, but it got to about 30 today, so autumn is just kind of puttering in very, very slowly. We sort of get a couple of days of like 24, 25, and then it will kind of go back up to 30. So very slowly easing its way into the season. All right, first garden centre. They are packing up, so I'm just trying to be super, super quick. Do they still have it? Oh, they do. That's the white one there. Oh, how exciting. Okay, at the second garden centre, just having a little hunt to see if we can find something that I can put down the side of the vegetable garden to stop it from the soil from coming out through that gap. Nothing, it's all kind of fencing. I wouldn't mind
You need to hold the thing up.
I wouldn't mind getting some fencing for the salvias, you know, to kind of prop them up so they're not just hanging in the beds. But do you reckon get with trellis?
That's what I'm looking at. This,
Yeah.
and you have to get two and not put it on an
I just don't know if
angle.
that'd be high enough. Alright, so for the salvias in the vegetable garden, they have these. These are brand new. They're like a half hoop plant trainer. That's really cool. So I think I'm going to pick up a number of those because I think they're going to be so handy to have in the garden. So we have obviously come out into the plant section and they have that silver eucalyptus that you always see in flower arrangements and bouquets, which is really cool, except it grows to 18 meters. My goodness, crazy. Just super intrigued by this plant. Look at this, and it has like a little berry on the inside. That's so cute. Got all of their spiky cactuses here. Goodness me. I'm more partial to a succulent than I am the really spiky ones. So we are heading home. It's about just after 6 p.m. now. So I'm gonna head home and put some dinner in the oven and kind of just get cozy on the couch and have some dinner. I will see you tomorrow, and I do apologize, I did not speak to you much in the garden centre at all. They had the music blaring in there. They were having the best time in the garden centre. So I didn't want to get a copyright claim, so I didn't really speak to you too much there. But yeah, I'm gonna head home now, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Good morning. I thought I would give you a very quick pineapple update. I think they are really happy. Look at how much they've like opened up at the top. They were sort of quite closed originally. But I think they are very happy getting the full sun. Oh, that makes me so happy. Well, given I couldn't speak to you very much when we were at the garden centre last night, I thought I would show you what I was able to kind of pick up. I still have not got everything that I wanted, and I did get something, a bit of a makeshift something for this gap here. So we'll kind of, when we get to it, we'll have a bit of a play around and see if it works the way I'm hoping it will. But everything is all kind of set around on the potting shed side, so I thought we'd pop around there and I'll just show you the few little plants that I picked up yesterday. So there is a lot happening on the potting shed side, because as you know, I've been to the garden centre the last 3 weeks in a row. So these are the hydrangeas that I picked up, as well as the pink impatiens. And then, so they're still sitting here. I don't want to plant anything yet. I just kind of want to assemble the pieces, that, you know, the little plants and bits and bobs. And then once I've got everything, make a decision from that point where I'm going to place everything. I've got ideas in my head as to where I think things will go, but I wanted to kind of just get all the pieces and, you know, check their little plant care labels and see what they need. I've also got one of those, the dark purple butterfly bush that I showed you a week or two ago now. It's got these gorgeous cone flowers. And so already, for example, this, I picked it for a very specific point, a very specific position, but already that has changed based on other plants that I've picked up. So that's why I'm sort of not rushing to get everything planted straight away. And how gorgeous, just very quickly while I'm here, is this looking? This draping plant. That's looking very pretty. So yes, you're aware of those ones, but I also picked up this yesterday. These were ones that were on sale because they needed a little bit of care. So these are a type of salvia. I do like my salvia, and you can see on the label there that they're heat lovers. So I think there are 3 of these that I've got here. Full sun, part shade, heat tolerant, bee attracting, long lasting blooms, spring through to autumn, mass planting, decorative pots. It only gets 35 to 45 centimeters, which is great. So I picked that up. And then I picked up a few of these. I've got, I think I showed you at the beginning of this video, I've got a few edgings. that I want to fill in, and I've got a couple of these already in the cottage garden, and I think that they do so well. So picked up a few of these, full sun, part shade. You can see that they're like really low, ideal for edging plants, really hardy. So I've got a few of those as well. I've just popped them. If you've been subscribed for a while, you'll know that when I purchase plants and I don't immediately plant them up, I pop them in these trays and then I just fill them with water. So you can see under here, this one, you can see there, it's got water in it. So these ones I'll add water to shortly. And then another one of the salvia, and another one of those. But I did pick up, I ended up, when I ran into the first garden centre, I actually went in for this one here, the white butterfly bush. And see, you've got these gorgeous cone-shaped flowers. So the white one's actually bigger. The dark purple one that I just showed you is sort of a dwarf variety. So this one gets 1.5 to 2 meters. But it's sort of similar, butterfly attracting, bee attracting, birds, full sun. And so yes, I've got the white one, and then I've also got the pink one. Because there's been a sort of change in my plans of where I'm going to put things, I thought that I would pick up the pink one as well, as I've got a space in mind for this one. Look at, I mean, look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? Look at them opening, and then all the little buds here. So eventually it'll just open up fully into like a gorgeous cone-shaped flower. They're very pretty. So they were the plants that I picked up. And then was there something else? Oh, they were these. I picked up 2 of these as well. That one does not have a label. Let me see if I can get a label for you. Here we go. I picked up, these ones have just got really sort of interesting and unique foliage. Gold dust, full sun, part shade, again, just really low, but it sort of spreads out to cover, it's a bit of a ground cover, which I wanted in 2 positions. So I've got 2 of those there as well. I'm trying to think if I bought anything else. I think I just picked up some rose fertilizer. So as we'd used it all a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, very, very happy with that. And as I said, I've got lots of ideas as to where I think these are all going to end up, but we'll wait and see how it all kind of goes once I'm sort of, I'll try and dedicate like a day, I think, to like planting everything up, and sort of I can kind of place them and then move them around if I need to. These ones here, originally I was going to put the white one out the front, but I think I've changed my mind. I think I'm going to put the pink butterfly bush as well as the 2 hydrangeas out the front, and that ground is like solid. So I'm probably going to need my garden guy, Russ, to come and help planting those ones up. So I'll have to get some time booked in for him just to help me try and dig the holes. The ground is, it's like anyway, it's like rock basically. So I'm sure he'll bring like a pickaxe with him and try and help dig some holes for these to go into. Anywho, let's head inside now. I'm wanting to do some home decorating, and I thought we could do that together. Now, with the weather changing, it definitely feels like proper autumn now. So I'm sort of in the mood to put out my autumn home decor. And this is my little collection here. You know, each season I just like to do a little smattering of seasonal decorations throughout the house just to mark the occasion. It just means, you know, if I'm in the kitchen and I'm cooking or doing something and I just, you know, a pumpkin happens to catch my eye, or a little squirrel, or the pine cones, it just really kind of puts me in the headspace that I'm, you know, it's autumn, and like it marks that passage as well. Where I am in Australia, we don't have super defined seasons. We certainly have a spring, winter, autumn and summer, but we don't necessarily have the real definition that some other places kind of get. I mean, I think I showed you last week, the white crepe myrtle her leaves are starting to go golden now, and so she'll be dropping her leaves in the coming months for winter, and so we certainly have it, but most of my garden is evergreen, and we'll obviously be growing things throughout autumn and winter, and so we don't get that kind of really harsh delineation. Oh, I can't. Oh, I'm losing my words. We don't get that really harsh line between our seasons here. It all kind of very slowly blends one into the other. So I like to mark it by putting out a few little decorations. And so these are my autumn ones. So I've got lots of pumpkins, because we do get lots of pumpkins here. Apples, pears, I've got pine cones, some autumn leaves, a little squirrel. We don't have squirrels in Australia that I'm aware of. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. We may have squirrels in Australia. I have never seen them, but that doesn't mean that we don't have them. They're certainly not like really prominent as they are, I believe, in, you know, the UK or America and that. But I've got a little squirrel with this little tiny pine cone. I've got a really gorgeous autumn wreath. I'll take you around so you can kind of see the detail here. These have all been in storage, so forgive the fact that they're a little bit sort of curled. They'll need to settle. And I mean, with all these berries, it just reminds me of my own garden. In the next couple of months, quite a lot of the plants, the flowers will be turning into berries. And again, like this evergreen, because my garden is green throughout pretty much the whole of autumn, winter, we don't necessarily lose our gardens here in Australia, as I know some people do in the UK or in America when you get those really, really cold temperatures. So anyway, these are my little collection of autumn decorations. And yes, I still haven't hung those pictures up. So I am going to just have a little putter around and place these, and then I'll show you what they look like when they're all in situ. Oh my gosh, I have been watching The Other Bennett Sister and I have absolutely been loving it. It is just funny and sweet and just such a different take on sort of those sorts of movies and shows. I'm sitting here with a massive smile on my face like a fool by myself, just like giggling and just. And so if you're looking for something to watch, then I would recommend The Other Bennett Sister. Good afternoon. It has been a particularly beautiful day today, and I know I talk about the weather a lot, but can I just say that we are in proper autumn now. The weather is just perfection, absolute perfection. If it could be like this all year round, I would be over the moon. About 24 degrees during the day, nighttime temperatures about 14 to 15. Absolute, just gold. This time of year is so lovely. But I'm standing like this because I wanted to show you how well the climbing rose is doing. Look, I need to thread this through, but gosh, the Cinderella rose is doing so well. I cannot wait for her next sort of flower season to see this whole wall full of flowers. So exciting. And I thought some of the new plants have actually been planted, so I thought I would quickly show you where not all of them, definitely not all of them, but I thought I would quickly show you where some of them ended up. And I also have a very exciting propagation development to share with you. So just walking down here, and I don't know if I zoom in. So this here is the purple butterfly bush. It was the smaller, kind of the miniature one. It's miniature, but it'll get about a 1 to 1.5 meters sort of wide and tall. So hopefully eventually it will fill out this whole space there. And when it's flowering, I think it's going to look really sort of just beautiful and wild and wonderful. And then on the other side, I've got if I go over top, you might be able to see a little bit better. So over here, the white butterfly bush just here has been planted. And so that one there, the white one, is the full grown. So it'll get about 2 meters, and I think that is going to look gorgeous in here and really fill out this space. I think the flowers will be just amazing. I think, like, because you can obviously see the pathways here, being able to see them through when you're sort of looking back in, I think it'll just add something with the white there and like those beautiful sort of cone shaped flowers. So they have all gone in. And then if I head around, oh, how gorgeous is the salvia coming back, by the way. So the pink double impatiens have been planted up amongst the white double impatiens. So I've got the gorgeous white ones here, and then now the pretty little pink ones. Sort of just add a bright spot into this corner. This area is generally in shade all year round, so having a little bit of colour, some florals, really gives some impact to this corner. But for the very, very exciting development, so over here where we've been propagating things for the pineapple, but I saw it today. Can you see? Just here. The first little sprout. That, ladies and gentlemen, is my very first little garlic clove sprout. How exciting. And I'm so excited about this that I've bought 2 additional garlic cloves to propagate in the same way. But I'm so pleased, and hopefully by the time the other 2 are ready to go out, the kitchen garden beds should be done, so I'll be able to plant them directly into the beds. Also, a bit of a pineapple update. As you can see, they have struggled a little bit with the full sun conditions. I knew they would. I knew that. They'd been inside and they had access to 24/7 water, and they'd been quite sheltered, so it was definitely a good idea to have a middle ground, sort of going outside to here and then to here, so I could keep an eye on them before they then end up in the garden beds. It was definitely much needed. So anywho, I wanted to give you those very quick updates, but the other thing that I'm wanting to do out here, and that I generally do need to do, is I want to head into the orchard and I want to fertilise. I do need to fertilise the kitchen garden beds as well, but I think today, if all I do is the orchard, I think that's the main thing. I definitely need to get in there and I need to be cutting things back and giving it a really good sort of clear out. The pumpkin situation really affected the space more than what I realized at the time. So I'll show you anyway when we get down there, but I'm just gonna walk. I've just noticed, can you see these? I'm pretty sure that's the wild rose from the other side. I've only just noticed this. How bizarre. I'll have to try and thread those through or cut them off, or I'm not sure. I don't know if you can see, even here at the top. Can you see this here? That's a wild rose branch. Huh. How bizarre. All right, let's head back around and let's prep up the fertilizer. And just while I'm around the potting shed side, I thought I would just show you how well this hydrangea is doing out here. Obviously I've not had the opportunity to plant it up yet, but gosh, she is looking spectacular. And look, it looks like this one's just about to start flowering too. Wow. Every time I see it, it's quite the showstopper. It's like massive. It's such a huge flower head. And then made up, it's a lace cap hydrangea. So can you see, they're all individual little tiny pink flowers, but then the outside gets ringed by larger blooms. I think that is such a unique type of flower. Normally when I see hydrangeas, they're those big mop head hydrangeas, which I do have a few of those in the garden as well, but these lace caps are really pretty. These are pink at the moment. I won't be surprised at all if in the year or two they turn blue. I think my soil is either acidic or alkaline, I'm not sure which way it is, and it tends to make them go blue, which I'm not mad about. I don't mind the blue hydrangeas. But yeah, gosh, stunning. I have shown you this before, but this is the liquid fertilizer that I use. I tend to do a combination of liquid fertilizer. I've got some specific sort of more pellet powder fertilizers for fruit trees. And I've also got like chicken manure, that sort of thing that I use. So it's a bit of a combination of all three. But today I'm going to stick with the liquid fertilizer. I haven't done that in a little while. So this is what we're using. I just use a little cap there. I do two capfuls per 9 litres of water. And depending on how I go, I might need to do 2 watering cans full to kind of get around the whole orchard. I think it could use a bit of a good feed. So I'm just going to get this set up and then we'll head down into the orchard. All right. So you will recall that there was a wild pumpkin vine that had ended up kind of, if I turn around slowly, it had kind of come from over the fence. And so first things first, as you can see in the cut flower garden, it basically came over and just crushed everything here. And then as it hung down, it blocked the irrigation emitter, so then nothing was getting watered, everything had gotten crushed. So that has struggled massively and needs a huge tidy up. And it kind of grew all the way through. It did crush this lavender here, this Spanish Eyes lavender. It has bounced back a little bit, but there is definitely some dead along here that you can see. I need to get in there and give it a really good prune back. Goodness me, the climbing roses are absolutely wild here. Gosh, so distracted by it. And then it went all the way up through, and can you see, this used to be a really gorgeous lavender plant. Look at this whole section here is dead now. That is due to the pumpkin vine. It just crushed it. It's absolutely crazy, but it absolutely crushed it. There is still, you can see here, there is still some greenery. So I'm wondering if I just give it, I'm not really versed with lavender plants. Let me know in the comments. But do I just give it a really good prune back and hope that it bounces back? Because I actually really did like it and it had really nice structure and form to it. The hydrangeas, one is kind of okay and the other two are just now very, very slowly bouncing back. I don't know if they're going to make it. That was also because of the pumpkin. The pumpkin vine had kind of gone all the way sort of through here down, and then it was all down around here, and so it just really stopped this sprinkler, like the water, from getting to the hydrangeas, so they massively struggled. I also lost the Spanish pink lavender that was in here. That just died, unfortunately. But yeah, at the time I kind of thought that because it was sort of a wild pumpkin and I'd not planted it, and I thought, oh well, it was a bit of a test and just a bit of an experiment, I'll see how it went. But the orchard has definitely suffered as a result of that. It did have, I remember telling you, it did have a pumpkin on it when it got taken out, but the destruction that it's done in the orchard, it wasn't worth it to me. So, and then because of my allergy to the pumpkin vine anyway, it just all was a bit too much. But you can see here that all of the citrus is doing okay. We've had the mandarin has absolutely just gone crazy. The weather has finally sort of, it seems to have stabilized into the autumn temperatures now. So I'm feeling much more confident in coming down here and doing a good prune back of the citrus. I didn't want to prune them because of the shock of the move. If you've been subscribed for a while, you'll know most of these citrus trees were actually in a different area of my garden, and towards the end of last year we set up this whole orchard space, and so they all got transplanted, and obviously there was a massive shock and I almost lost lots of them, and so they've spent the end of last year and early this year kind of re-establishing and getting all back bedded down in their new locations, and they're doing really well. So I just didn't want to prune them back and then have a freak week of 35-degree weather, which we did have not that long ago. Just all of a sudden the temperatures soared again and it was 35 and hot, and I just don't think that they would do very well being freshly cut in those temperatures. So that is a bit of an orchard update. The berries are actually doing well. The raspberries doing good. The 2 blueberries are doing incredibly well, actually. All right, I'm going to head back up. Let's grab the fertilizer, little container up there, and I'm just going to have a little wander around. And basically, I mean, it's fairly straightforward. Now that I've mixed the fertilizer up, I just do the 2 capfuls of the fertilizer in here, and then I just fill it up with just tap water. And then I go around each of the fruit trees and just give them a really good sort of drink of the fertilizer infused water. So it'll just remain to be seen whether I can get away with 1 trip or whether I need to do 2. So it's going to be 2 trips with the fertilizer. I'd rather them to have more food than not enough. So I'll just head back and make up another little round of fertilizer here. Now, if you do not like bugs and insects and that, avert your gaze. But sometimes I'm in the garden and I just see the weirdest little bugs and stuff. If I can you see that little fella? What am I looking at here? He's pink. Whatever it is pink. How bizarre. And because it camouflages, because the little flowers on the blueberries are like a pink color like that. So yeah, I don't know what kind of bug that is, but I always find so many weird bugs in the garden. Just all the different colors, and so bizarre. I shall Google image search him and see what kind of bug it is. Well, all the fertilizing is now done, which is brilliant. I've got weeding to do as well, but I think I'm going to call it a day. So I'm going to say goodbye to you for this week. I hope you have enjoyed spending the time with me. We went to the garden centre. and had a little sort of nighttime wander around the garden centre. We did all of the autumn decorations. We spent a little bit of time out in the garden this afternoon, which has been really lovely. Next week's video is probably going to be a little bit of a travel, a bit of a weekend away, which I think is going to be really nice and fun, and a bit of change of pace. Something a bit different from being out in the garden, because when I get back, it is going to be gardening. I will try and interdisperse it with other things, so it's not super just garden heavy. But I kind of thought I would take you through how I prep my kitchen garden beds, and then that'll be like, it depends. The weekend I'm thinking of, there's a public holiday that weekend and everything will be closed. So that might actually be a good weekend to just even prep all the beds. And then we can maybe get into the orchard and start getting that looking absolutely beautiful. And then we'll sort of swing back around to this, and we will have a trip to the garden centre to pick up all of our seedlings, and we'll come back and plant up all the seedlings, and it will be, I love it. I love when the garden beds are full of fresh seedlings and you get to watch them grow and get your vegetables, and it's always so much fun. So those videos will all be coming in the next few weeks. So until next Wednesday, I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you then. Bye.